where people who care for the bringing reforms in society can meet, share, and find solution to the issues of common concern. And the conference we are attending today is just one example of these efforts. And I have been fortunate enough to continue participating in this series of conference since its beginning back 6 years ago, and have seen the great success these forums have achieved. And I'm committed with my family, extended family, CMS, to continue working for this cause. The issue we're addressing today is of great importance, basically violence against women. I have been raised up in a religious society, and when you live in a religious society and become later on a judge, you are aware somehow of the religious teaching, not only yours but also others. And this helps you to understand what are the building blocks that makes a society a well-established, democratic, civilized society. And I believe one of these teachings and one of these principles is that famous principle of equality between man and a woman. And this principle is not just a modern principle, and some of you would think. It's a very well-established principle that all religions that human beings have experienced over the years since the beginning of the universe have urged people, have urged society to equalize between a man and a woman. And let me just give you one example, one simple example from the Baha'i text, the scripture. I find it very expressive myself, and therefore I'm quoting it to you. And I quote, "The world of humanity is possessed of two wings, male and the female. So long as these two wings are not equivalent in strength, the bird will not fly. Until womankind reaches the same degree as man, until she enjoys the same arena of activity, extraordinary attainment for humanity will not be realized. Humanity cannot wing its way to heights of real attainment. When the two wings become equivalent in strength, enjoying the same prerogatives, the flight of man will be exceedingly lofty and extraordinary." And these teachings have found its way to influence our cultures today in different parts of the world. And therefore, there is always that call for equalizing between a man and a woman. And what disturbs this equality is this movement of violence that we are experiencing today, mostly in all our society, north and south, east and west, civilized world, uncivilized world. Wherever you go, there is a movement of violence against women. In fact, violence against women knows no boundaries. Violence cuts across race, class, religion, and culture. In every country of the world, there are women who continue to fear and experience violence. No country, no region is immune. Violence against women is a pervasive and widespread plague on our society, one that crosses geographic, economic, and racial lines. It is a grave violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term multiple physical, sexual, and mental consequences for women and girls, including death, unfortunately. It negatively affects women's general well-being and prevents women from fully participating in society. Violence not only has negative consequences for women, but also their families, the community, and their countries at large. There is enough data available on the incidents happening all around us every day that put humanity to shame. I do not want to talk about the numbers or statistics because all of us are well aware of the seriousness of the problem. There are NGOs, committee, conferences are held, Women's Day is celebrated, directions are issued by national and international bodies, but results are yet to be seen. Violence against women is not an act against an individual woman. It is an act against us all, to our countries, to our communities, to our loved ones. Why there is a violence all around us? Violence in words and in action, and at times in our thoughts. That is not what God would have ever thought his creation would turn out to be. We often say that poverty, lack of education, is a basic cause of many of the prevailing vices. But if you look at the case studies, violence against women is not in fact an outcome of lack of education or poverty. Then what are the causes? And it is by understanding the causes we can think of finding ways to curb it. Is it that our initial upbringing of children lacks in creating that sensitivity in the male members of family? When boys grow up seeing a biased behavior towards their mothers and sisters at home, that they form that perception, and when they grow as men, the same perception is extended in the way they perceive women at public places and at workplaces. In this case, we need to start with the families as the smallest unit of our societies, because inviting adults later for seminar or protest will not change what is deeply instilled already. Media is one powerful medium that can create a lot of awareness. But again, unless and until all the channels of interaction like family, schools, and society speak the same language, message cannot convey because one will wash out the efforts of other medium. Though a lot is said that the way women are portrayed in media that creates the perception of women as a commodity, this may have some truth, but I strongly feel that if family values are strong enough, and these are further affirmed through the similar value system in school, the larger societies will then have sensitive members to influence maybe a few who are yet to amend their attitudes. So let us start with us first, and then reach out to all around us. Raise a voice, and let the message spread that we have.
Hello, I'm both new to India as well as news media, so everybody has explored the topic so much in detail, so I'd like to keep mine short to just a few points so we could go and get some food. Who else is hungry here? Nobody else? Okay. I just had a morning flight, I didn't have breakfast, and I ran here, so I'm ready for lunch. You know, coming from a different country, as earlier the Chief Justice from Panama said that the issue is not necessarily Indian, it is a global issue. And for example, a little fact about the US is that in the US, 70%, a woman earns 78% of what a man gets for doing the same job. So this could show you the gap in financial inequality that is a global issue. One thing that I saw a few days ago was this article praising women for them being the early educators of a child and being the mother. And I think when we limit what a woman should be or could be, that is where the problems start, because if they're anything but those gender roles and identities that we give to them, then obviously if they step outside of that, man may not like that. And I think that's where maybe perhaps violence or other problems begin. So how about we just don't define what a woman should or could do, and let women, as many other speakers earlier here said, just be as members of society, as equal members of society. In my opinion, or not actually my opinion, I had a little chat right before I came to this, is one of the biggest oppressions to humanity has been the limitation of access to knowledge. Meaning that a lot of people, one of the ways that they have been oppressed is that they have not been given access to knowledge. And we know that those who have access to knowledge are immediately empowered and can do great things. So traditionally, knowledge has been kept within the male circles in many societies around the world, or in all societies. So empowering women through giving them access to knowledge perhaps could be a way to empower. And accessing knowledge, let's not limit it to education through schools alone. It means everything, through access through perhaps technology in this day and age, and access to everything that would allow them to be able to gain access to that knowledge and utilize it. Since I am kind of from the media, we had a lot of senior media personalities comment about the role of media, so I don't need not to go too deep in it. But media, news media, as I have learned in the past few months of being in it, is that we tend to focus on reporting events and occurrences and not much of processes. So if there is a shift from reporting occurrences into processes, we may be able to cover and do much more justice to topics and see them unfold throughout a period of time, and report on the development of processes rather than focusing on specific events. And media mostly always also, and it's been criticized for focusing, giving you negative news, and it traditionally focuses on problems. And I've learned from a newsprint personnel that the old saying was that if it bleeds, it leads, meaning to the stories that if it's a dramatic, scary story, it will lead the first page of your paper. So how about media and journalism be a movement more towards constructive journalism, where we're not only reporting problems, but also reporting solutions, whatever insignificant they may be. So, and balancing that out. I think perhaps that may also be another way that the media could kind of explore this. Last but not least, we tend to look at problems, be it the violence against women or any other problem, as an isolated problem that a certain section of society may have, and that is very problematic, because a illness that affects a human body affects the wholeness of a human body and not necessarily a specific portion of it. So violence against women has so much to do with all the other ills that are going on in society. So why disassociate it with all from the other problems and look at it by itself, but rather it can be looked at from why do men in these cases are so violent and look at women from such a, I would say, such an inhumanistic manner for them to do such acts. What is wrong with these men? What is the psychological problems of these men or these people going through this? So if we look at the whole problem holistically as to what is going on in society and what are the ills of our society, we may be able to reach at a more holistic solution, which is not perhaps easy to reach at, but I think maybe more permanent. So I leave you with those thoughts. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mizaq Kazmi, Executive Producer of Beyond News, New Delhi.
Very difficult one. So there are no quick fixes here. So, to say that, well, those issues are, I don't know what phrase you used, but you were a little dismissive about them. I understand why you were dismissive, because indeed those solutions are much longer term solutions.
Yes.
Supposing we start with teaching children today, okay? Supposing you start teaching children in grades 6, 7 and 8 today, and indeed we are going to be doing that. Just about 2 weeks ago, we sent a circular to the principals of all our campuses that we have a person in Lucknow. She's a journalist. She's been working for one of the newspapers here for a long time. She's one of our own alumni. She got a gold medal at the Lucknow University, very bright woman. She covers gender issues for a newspaper in Lucknow, an English language newspaper. And she has, because she's covering those issues for a long time, she knows, she talks to young people who've gotten into difficulties like this. So she has very kindly offered, and we very readily accepted, that she's going to go to every single one of our classrooms from grade 7 upwards and talk once a year. Every child in CMS from grade 7 to 12, that means about 35,000 students or 30,000 students, will hear her for 40 minutes once a year. And it's about gender sensitization. So we will be doing that. There is no escape from the fact that if you want real change, you've got to begin with changing minds and hearts.
Changing minds and hearts. सईद, मुझे एक चीज बताइए, अंदर अपने आप को तो बदलना होगा ही, पर ये बदलाव आएगा कैसे? अगर हम औरत को एक कमोडिटी माने, भोग की वस्तु माने, जो कड़वी हकीकत है। प्रभु चावला बोल रहे थे, उन्होंने मिसाल दी, एक उदाहरण दिया कि मैं राखी सावंत का इंटरव्यू करने भेज दिया, 60 साल के बूढ़े को 28 साल की लड़की का इंटरव्यू करने भेज दिया। वो एक बात बताना भूल गए, आप लोगों को अगर ध्यान हो वो इंटरव्यू, मुझे ध्यान है, मेरा काम है, मैं तो मीडिया में हूँ। उस इंटरव्यू में राखी सावंत का जो फ्रेम बनाया गया, उसमें लोअर बैंड, नीचे पट्टी चलती है ना, वो पट्टी हटा दी गई थी। आलम ये है, दिस इज हाउ वी कमोडिफाई women.